Hey guys, it's Crack36, and I am tired. Stayed up late last night doing that interview and uploading that stuff to YouTube for my Gamerman video. My voice is all raspy and low. So I wanted to do a reaction video to Dtroy, and the Garrison is his Axonala's channel. I highly recommend you subscribe. By the way, if you could click and comment, and subscribe to my channel, that would be great. But here he says something important, and don't think it just applies to BBR. So let's take a listen.
So having said that, I will support Sired with his new game. I'll make an honest attempt at accepting and digesting this new game, just as I did when BBR was first introduced by Sired. But this issue, or how should I refer it, this new evolution of the game puts us in a predicament. Those of us who have been playing the game BBR for the longest, for the past, I want to say 5-6 years now, it puts us in a predicament because we love BBR, which is an extension of Axis and Allies, and now we have to make a choice. And for lack of a better term, it sucks because we love BBR, we love Axis and Allies. And those of us that go back to the day when we first started playing the game, those of us who I like to think are the originals or the OG guys like G.I. Joe, Young Grasshopper, Sired himself, Corporal 24, General Hand Grenade, Hambone, and I'm forgetting so many guys. I know what I am right now, but those were the original guys. Those were the OGs. We all loved playing Axis, and we all evolved into BBR. Okay, and we worked very hard to build this community that we have today. And I feel like if there's some sort of schism going on where we're all growing into different things, and I'm not sure if that is the way we want to go. I'm not sure if that's the right thing because, I've always said that the more the better, the more the merrier. So the bigger the community, the better. It's funny. I have a bone to pick with Tam Bam, by the way. I love Tam Bam. He's such a he's General MacArthur in all the events. He shows up to the events all dressed up.
Oh, we gotta
General
all do
MacArthur's attire,
cosplay. That'd be
and
awesome.
awesome guy, fun, and he plays the role. He looks great, and you know, good guy. Generally speaking.
Definitely on my
But I have a bone to pick with
bucket
him because
list.
he's made the comment that that we should keep the community that we shouldn't be over expanding because there's only so many people. I think he mentioned that maybe we have about 200 guys, 200 people that are hardcore members of the community, and that the more tournaments and more events, the less people will be available then to fill these slots in all these tournaments. And my response to him was, no, we have to grow the community. We have to become bigger. We have to create more tournaments so this way more people know about the BBR, Axis and Allies, and the more people will get involved. The bigger we are, the more people will play. The more people will get involved.
Okay.
So that's just my 2 cents into this whole thing.
So I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to stop it there and just do my rants. So he brings up a great point here, and it is a real issue. Last night in my interview with Gamerman01, he talked about Classic. Classic is still a playable game, by the way. It is still fun. If you've never played Classic, I highly recommend it. It's a good time, and it sold for a reason. Now, I would just warn you that if you ever buy a factory, make sure that you get a anti-aircraft there. That's besides that, go for it and really do technology because technology is huge in Classic. It's a real driver. Now, the other thing Gamerman mentioned Anniversary Edition. Anniversary Edition is a great game, groundbreaking in so many ways, and it ought to get more love. The recent releases from Renegade re-releases some of the theater games and the development of North Africa. So, without destroying your family and your marriage, I would recommend that we become Renaissance men. That we are able to do different versions. Now, I'll tell you, honestly, I got bit in the butt by playing different versions. I played one version once. It was Christmas time, and I was doing this game. I was playing the Germans, and I invaded and captured Moscow. The weekend before, I had played another game where the turn order was different. USA was after United Kingdom. So when I returned to global, I had to catch Denmark. I had to prevent him from taking Denmark, but I thought I was safe because I thought UK was going to go first. But UK didn't go first, and so he literally just walked into Berlin because I had made an error, sort of a category error, and so yeah, it bit me in the butt. But I think great Access Knowledge players are going to be like decathletes, running the decathlon, and I think that Classic or 42 is probably our common lingua franca. So I would kind of recommend that all of us sort of brush up on our 42. Now, there are already great 42 players out there. So just, be aware that, and I think actually if you want the innovation right now, probably 42 and Steam is the place to go for that. There's just a lot of people rolling a lot of dice. And I'm actually going to start trying to squeeze in some of those reviews so that I can draw that crowd to the different games. And the place to play those different games would be accessanalyze.org. So I would love to get everyone sort of, in some ways, if you didn't view it as a decathlon, because all these are, different games and different versions, and they all deserve love. They're good games, good times, and I would almost recommend sort of a. And I'm trying to do this with my channel. It's going to take a while. It's going to take years, actually. I'm going to talk about the Harris Canon, the Larry Harris Canon, and the different rules. For instance, tanks. If you don't know it, tanks developed originally attacked at 3, defended at 2. And then eventually they all went to 3-3. So I'd like to talk about that. And just, as we, Larry's getting older. And in this case, Sire Blood has been the rule dictator. And he, I'm sure, has collaboration with some people. I know he's got a close-knit group that's helped him playtest things and really hammer stuff out. So it's a really well play-tested, I think, game. It's not my favorite. I don't understand it enough to be my favorite. It is a one-day game, and so that makes it less. I mean, I'm here on the road, UPS, still working, 40, 50 hours a week, sometimes more. So for me to be able to do it on the computer at accessanalyze.org is a lot easier. And, G40, has my attention because it's the most playable. So now I will say that War Room is actually my favorite game of all time. And it's, I think, better. But what can I play? What can I do? What's practically what I can do every day? And the answer is I can play G40 or the stuff at accessanalyze.org. I'm not home to do the Steam. When I get home, I got to spend time with the wife and kids. And I'm trying to make sure that, at the end of my retirement, I still have a marriage and still have a good relationship with my kids. And, of course, going to church and doing my deacon stuff there as well as ministry. So that's all good stuff. So I just think we have panoply? That's the 5-cent word, a panoply of great options. I'll just put that in so anybody who wants to learn the word of the day, panoply, panoply of great options before us, and we ought to actually sample them all and collect a complete or impressive collection of things, a splendid display, a complete set of arms, or a suit of armor. So this is we have a panoply. We could also use the word myriad options. So those are this is good stuff. But I would recommend that if you are in a certain category, that you would begin to learn the Harris um, canon. And here the word I'm using for canon, I'm using a collection of works. So let me just. This is not your usual definition of canon. And I'm getting some people that are sat down nearby, so it might get some challenge to my corded mic here. But a canon is a general law, rule, principle, or criterion by which something is judged, or a collection or list of sacred books accepted as genuine. So obviously, we're using the word sacred here, generally or generically, and so Detroit, I do agree with the more the merrier, the more options the better. But I do think that we ought to be what I would call Renaissance men who are able to play or have some experience with each one of these games. They have a value, and when you're putting together your Saturday afternoon, or you're playing with guys, even on here, if you come up with an agreement with two people, you want to use tech, you don't want to use tech, it's fine, and it counts. So I would encourage everyone to learn the games, play them on Steam, play them on the table, and I think there's a real value, by the way, to being able to do both, like to be the Renaissance man, a true. There is a sense in which a triathlon that you could be able to win three different versions. I mean, wouldn't that be the better player, the best player of Axis and Allies? The great general is not someone who's seen the same battle over and over and over again and played it. The great general is the one who assesses a strategic situation, assesses his own logistics and resources, and wins the battle. And that's what happens. That would be my rant, is if you want to be the number one player in the world, don't just be the number one player at one particular game. Be the great player at 3 games. 42, I think, has to be one of them. If it was the other 2, one theater game and then one expanded game. And if you could show expertise at 2 or 3 of them, you got the triple crown there. You're the Bruce Jenner or whatever. That's the only decathlete that I know of. So there you go. That's the challenge laid down. This is great. Like I said, I do agree. The thing I would critique here is I would say that eventually the power that Sire has should be put into the hands of a committee, what I would call the Federation of Axis and Allies Players, the International Federation of Axis and Allies Players. I've been talking about it for years. Everyone who's around me knows, in WhatsApp and on YouTube channel comments, I've made it International Federation of Axis and Allies Players. And it would move slowly. It would approve changes, maybe 1 or 2 a year at most. We don't want to change things too fast. And it would actually have more power than maybe Renegade games over the games that are already out there. So that's my idea. The other thing I would say about just to continue from last night is that if you're in the league, you have that ELO system. What's the positive ELO is that you play games and you play to win, and you see some brilliant play. The best players in the world for G40 are here, absolutely, almost without a doubt. However, that's people who are dependent upon the battle calculators, right? I mean, that's the thing. And then the other thing I would say is that they change slowly because they don't want to lose, because they're concerned about 80%, 90%. So I would encourage anyone in the league, play outside the league, play out here and play board games. And use these games to experiment. Because believe it or not, we have seen innovation over the last couple of years in out of box. And it's actually given out of box fresh life because people are not doing the same old thing because they've got a higher bid and the allies have got some love. So let me just encourage everyone to get out there and roll the dice, like Dtroy says. And this is my reaction video to Dtroy. Love this guy. He's a very kind-hearted fellow. Just heart of gold. So, all right. Okay, guys, take care. Crockett 36 out.